Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Newton sir, for accepting the invite of spiritual doctors for coming on our platform.
It's my
I
pleasure.
am very excited.
It's really, I feel wonderful to connect Dr. Saurabh Ranjan and Dr. Sandeep Jyot and other dignitaries who joined us today on this platform. It's really wonderful to connect with all of you.
Sir, I just want to introduce about this platform. This platform has been started by doctors for doctors. The name of platform is Spiritual Doctor for Holistic Healing, because these days doctors are not using all the holistic healings. They even say that these things doesn't work. So
Newton sir, try to increase the volume if possible at your end.
Sure, I will do that. And one moment. Is it clear now?
it's good, sir. It's good. If you can increase a little bit, so it will be great.
Okay, I will try the settings. One moment, you can.
I want to compliment, sir. Your backdrop is very beautiful. It's like taking us to the past life.
Thank you.
Voice is okay. Vijay sir has message.
Okay, that's very good.
Thanks, it's great, sir.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
So we will start.
Over to you, sir.
Yeah. So today I can talk about the topic that we have chosen, all of us, and the science of PLR, past life regression, and journey of soul. That's the topic. And this is my most favorite topic because this is how I stepped into spiritual path long back, through reincarnations, through lifetimes of journeys, to make whether these things are real or not. This was my curiosity at that time. So almost now 3 decades back, when first time I met my meditation guru who taught me meditation, Brahmashri Pitamaha Patriji. At that time, I had few glimpses of my past life, though I could not believe that it is my past life memory. So I was very suspicious because I have come from this background of skepticism, atheism. My father was a physics lecturer. So he taught me that at a very younger age, don't believe anything blindly. My father is really the worshipper of the science. He really loved the science. That's how I got the name Newton. And it's because my father is fond of the physics and also the sciences. So that made me to actually develop interest, whether it is true or not, whether reincarnation is true or not. When I had my first meditation experience of past life memories, so I was seeing visions, flashes of visions, and the story emerging that I was a Buddhist monk in an ancient life, but I could not believe it. What is the proof that it is so true? Why the mind is creating these kind of images? And then, first time I did an experiment. It happened in 1990. So my grandmother was the first subject that I have taken. When I shared my experience of my own past life memory, then my grandmother was very much willing to go through that experience. So at that point of time, I had a little bit of understanding, knowledge about hypnosis, because I used to read so many spiritual books. One book which really made me to understand about the subconscious mind, the power of subconscious mind, all that is Ruth Montgomery's book, A New Age Spiritual Master. The name of the book is A Search for Truth. She was a skeptical journalist, but she learned about hypnosis and conducted certain kinds of experiments about age regression, womb regression, and also people recalling past life memories. So when I read about it, it made me to jump into that experiment. Immediately I want to experiment in a similar way. So first time when my grandmother went into a trance, I was giving instructions to her to relax her body, relax her mind, letting go of all the stress. So very soon she reached to very deep levels of trance. And when I instructed her to go back in time to earlier childhood memories, I still recall what she said. It was still in my ears. Her voice is very much clear to me. And she narrated about uh, when she was in the cradle memory. When she was in the cradle, the mother was put the baby in the cradle. She was that the jula kind of thing, where she was really enjoying the warmthness and the love and care of the mother. Mother was singing her a song, so she was narrating and she was emoting. A lot of feelings of joy was coming out through the tears of joy. So first time I felt it so good. That means that there is a way. So when I told her to further go back into the mother's womb state, she recalled the fetal memory when she was inside the mother's womb. It was for me as an experimental, scientist who experiments. I was just like that, very objective. I want to know whether what she's going to tell about past life is going to be true or not. When I regress her back, she went into a past life memory. That's where really I was really felt so good about this, what she has experienced, what she shared. So in the deep trance, she was recalling a past life memory when she was a villager. She was living in a village. She was ordinary wife, like a simple home hut kind of life, a poor woman with a husband and two children, but very happy home, happy children, happy family. So one day when she was around 9 years old, she was fetching water from a pond. She was bringing the water from the well. So it's almost like a evening time, sunset time. And that time a snake has bitten her. With a snake bite, she almost very quickly she passed away. So that moment, she was crying the last moments of her life. She was like narrating the whole story, what was going on. So she was in terrible pain. Her body was really going through pain. At the same time, the emotional pain was so intense. She was feeling sadness for leaving the young children, the two children. So in the soul state, when her soul left that body, she was floating free. She was narrating about looking at her body from outside. When meanwhile, all the villagers joined, husband was there, the children were there, they were crying on falling on her body. That moment she said to me that I recognize you. You are my son in that past life. So it was like a big aha moment for me. When I was a child in this life, I was sent to my grandmother. I was reared by her. I was given all the love and care by my grandmother. She was like my mother only. I could understand that moment. It was so profound even for me to hear that. And what happened is her fear and phobia of the snake has vanished completely after that, because as a children we used to all the time scare our grandmother. Even just saying snake also will be terrified. She will be terrified. She will run away from that place. She can't see the picture of a snake. She can't look at anything to do with the snake energy. So after that, she was so comfortable. But I was suspicious whether she's cooking up a story, because she had this fear, phobia. Maybe our mind, the subconscious mind, invented a story, fabricated a story that which may not be real, but it was therapeutic. It was highly therapeutic. She was completely free from that fear. And my second case study, it happened in 1991, and a degree student who used to come to meditation sessions. We used to come together for the Sajjana Sangatya every weekend. So he attended that one of the sessions that night. All the group of our friends and our Guru Patriji was there. And I told Patriji, today I want to conduct an experiment, PLR experiment, because this was really a curiosity in my mind. I was very much intrigued by the phenomena of birth and death, reincarnation. I want to know more about it, whether it is really true or not. And that day, when this degree student was very much willing, he was a young person and who knew only Indian languages. He could speak Telugu, Hindi, and a little bit Urdu, and that's all. And in the session, a very deep trance state he achieved very quickly. It was like I was demonstrating for all the meditators. Everyone gathered, and someone also carried the tape recorder. They want to also record the whole session. So when he visited his past life, the best thing that happened is he started speaking in unknown language. He was like speaking some words which we could never understand that time. We were asking him, we were asking in English, and he was answering in Russian language. So afterwards, when I asked further about which country he was in, he was telling that it's Russia. So he was speaking very fluent Russian language. We made him to write the alphabets of that language. We have given a paper and the pen with his eyes closed, and he was writing it, the script. And first time I felt a wow moment, because it could be something like an evidence for reincarnation, because language cannot be created by our mind out of blue without formal training. Nobody can learn language without learning the language, can't speak it. For example, I was not well versed in Hindi. Definitely I'm going to learn, but it will take at least 1 year, 6 months to 1 year to learn any language. So it was the same case. I was really so much surprised, and it's like for me, I was so inspired. And after the session, I want to cross check whether what we have recorded, the tape recorder, that time we used to have these cassette players, the cassette player. So my senior was, he studied medicine in Russia. He was doing house agency internship. He was doing in our own government medical college, Kurnool Medical College. So we have given it to him. We want to understand whether what is this language, and he confirmed it's a Russian language. He could translate that because he was a kind of political leader, this person, who went into past life memory. So he could completely translate, understand that by this intern shape who was my senior, who confirmed it's a Russian language. The script that he has written, the alphabets of Russian language, it's also very accurate. Later on, I have to do furthermore research. I have to go to his home, this degree student home, to interview the mother father, whether mother father was exposed to, they taken the child to any kind of place like Russia, whether they have shown any television program where the child subconscious mind captured Russian language. So they confirmed no such thing happened. No radio program of Russian language, no television program, no, nothing, no exposure to that language. For the first time, I felt so happy about this experiment. So, friends, this was briefly, that's how I began. I became a believer about reincarnation. Later on, I conducted more than thousands of such experiments before I completed my medicine and my post graduation. And my journey continued. Initially, I was just purely like a scientist. I want an objective evidence. Only that way, many people I could not confirm. There's no validations about this reincarnation, no validation, because some they're describing about almost 3,000 years back, they were describing certain memories. We can't go to those places because those places are not existing. But then many people who has given the description about the immediate past birth. If it is 100 years back, doing some kind of historical research, we could always validate such things. So initially, I was a pure reincarnation researcher. My wife, Dr. Lakshmi, she was my classmate also. So she joined my hands both together. We used to conduct these regression sessions. We were very passionate about this because part of my spiritual journey, also I learned so much from facilitating these past life regression sessions, because every session, it was also a learning process for me. I was learning from the lifetimes people are narrating and describing. And the second episode, the second part of my spiritual journey began from 95 onwards. After completing my MBBS, I told my wife, Dr. Lakshmi, that I am not interested to practice medicine. My heart is in this field of spirituality. And she also said she will also join in this. And by the time we got married, and we started looking at the therapeutic angle, because many people were getting relieved from fears, phobias, and symptoms like chronic illnesses, certain chronic illnesses which were not responding to conventional therapies. They were responding to these kinds of regression sessions. So for me, a new chapter has opened in my life, and we decided to practice as past life regression facilitators, therapists. So that's how my journey began. So Dr. Saurabh and Dr. Sandeep, and anything that you want to interact, and it will be very
yes,
good
sir.
to.
Sir, many years back, I had mailed you question
Yes.
about research about PLR, like the work Ian Stevenson and Dr. Jim Tuckers are doing. Among the common people, for many people, it is difficult to believe that it is possible to explore past lives, although it is written in our Bhagavad Gita and other literature. So about the verification you have mentioned, although, but we want to know more that in your past life training program, you ask your students to submit 10 case studies. then
Yeah.
only they will get the certificate and license to practice PLR as a therapist.
Yes.
So, share some light on these things, that the evidence we are getting, or some case study.
Sure, Dr. Saurabh Ranjan, because we are in a scientific world right now. Definitely, our logical minds need certain answers. It needs evidence. Though Bharat Desh has already contributed such profound wisdom. If we look into the ancient times, from Lord Buddha to Lord Krishna, Lord Mahavira, Patanjali Maharshi, so many yogis, rishis, of this Bharat Desh has already told about this beautiful wisdom of reincarnation, the wisdom of the soul. Entire Bhagavad Gita is about the reincarnation and law of karma. And Lord Sri Krishna was giving such profound the knowledge. He was sharing to the mankind through the medium of Arjuna. And but this scientific world needs definitely evidence, because I always feel we always find certain evidences. May not be their direct evidence. There's no way of directly proving that it is possible. But direct evidence, definitely, xenoglossia also is an indirect evidence. Somebody speaking an unknown language. I have come across few case studies that way. One is, I already told about Russian language. Chinese language was one more case study I want to share with all of you. One child was, he was not interested in studying his subjects. He was always interested in the fights, all the fighting movies he will watch. Always he wants to learn fighting and all that. He was a young child. Parents were really worried about his future. They brought the child to me, and we were doing a counseling to the child, why he was not interested in subjects. And we thought, the parents were willing. They said, this is really a problem. And the child also is very willing to understand why his mind was completely not interested about studies. When he was regressed into the past life, he was around 8-year-old at that time when I conducted the session. So he visited a lifetime when he was in China. He was a ninja fighter, means those martial arts in China. He was an expert. He was a master. That moment, in the we have this room where we conduct the session. This boy on the couch, on that chair, he was jumping. My chair was broken that time, the chair, because he was like demonstrating all the ninja stances, like how the Chinese they do. And he was speaking the Chinese language. That's the best part of this session, is the Chinese language. And I had a plastic pyramid which was there in my therapist's room. So I have given the sketch pen and to write something on it. I told him to write his name and my name on that as a signature. So he has started writing the Chinese scripture. The Chinese, they write it's like a pictorial kind of that language. He has written it. Later we got the confirmation it's the Chinese script that he was writing, and the Chinese language. And the whole lifetime he spent as a ninja fighter. He wanted to actually teach so many students, but he could not do it. He accidentally died in that life. So in this lifetime, that's why he has come back. His unfinished business. His unfinished business is about completing, teaching work. He want to teach what he could not do it in that past life. He want to make many people masters of this ninja school. So he want to establish it again. So after this session, Now I have to bring the parents and have to counsel them, brainwash them, and tell them that this child is born for a purpose. Every child is born like for their own soul's agenda. And parents were very tough. They could not be convinced. But after some time, I told the examples of so many people, like Sachin Tendulkar and all of them, how they became the cricket champions, and many of the child prodigies, they are born to do certain things in this world. So as parents, we must encourage. So finally, they agreed. So friends, this is another stunning case I have found. And there are cases, some verifiable details that came up. One case study I'll share about aeroplane crashing into a building. An engineer who was a non-believer and skeptical person, who had this glaucoma condition, and also he had irritable bowel syndrome, certain kinds of bodily symptoms. It was not getting relieved, and he is a chronic smoker, and so much stress he was going through in his life. So he read somewhere in an article about PLR, past life regression, and he read the book by Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters. And then he was so much interested. He came with all the skeptical mind only, logical mind. And I was desperately looking for some kind of answers, because these are my bodily symptoms. This is what I'm going through. I get a recurrent nightmarish dream about aeroplane crashing into building, and I wake up with perspiration almost every week. Once in a week, this dream appears to me. It's a recurrent dream. And I told him, let us find out the cause, the root cause for this. There must be something in your deeper subconscious mind and memory which you're carrying. Let's find out that. He said, I don't believe about reincarnation, because how can we believe that some past life and whether really exists or not, we don't know. He was talking that way. I told him, let us experiment. Be open with open mind. Come with open mind. If it is benefiting you, why not you go through this? If it is bringing you kind of healing, put aside the reincarnation. Maybe subconscious mind tells the story. The story may heal you. And then he was ready. He was going through the session. Then he was regressed into a memory. Straight away, he went to a past life memory. He was in an aircraft. He was narrating about the aircraft. He said it's Dutch Airlines. He mentioned about the time period. Said 1951 or 52, March 22nd or something like that. Very specific day and year he mentioned. And he said, I'm a pilot in the aircraft. There's a co-pilot, and there are 45 passengers boarded in the aircraft. We took off from the Munich airport and heading towards Amsterdam. So this was what he narrated. And at that time, his logical mind was also acting, partly he was there and partly he was listening to my voice. And he said, maybe I am cooking up a story, doctor. I told him, it's okay. Even if you're cooking up a story, there must be a reason. Later on, we'll analyze. Allow yourself to experience it fully. And then he was going through the entire lifetime, where he was last moments when there's an air disaster, the collapse of the aircraft because of navigation control, which was lost. There was a turbulent weather conditions, but he was carrying guilt in that moment, because before this aircraft collided into a building, there was a little boy on the terrace of the building. He was looking at this, terrified, panicked, because this big metallic air flight is coming in towards that little boy, that building. He was frozen. That moment, he was so much really feeling guilty for this disaster. I could not save the life of 45 passengers. This was the whole story. At the end, he was dying with guilt. And afterwards, the session was over. I told him to do some kind of research. You told about Dutch Airlines, my dear friend. Also, you mentioned about the year and day and 45 passengers boarded in that aircraft. Why don't you do some kind of research? So he started doing some kind of research, first initially internet research. And later on, he called the KLM flights, the Airlines, which was known as Dutch Airlines before. So he called them and they confirmed about the air disaster that happened. Whatever he narrated, everyone died in that air disaster. So this is also another kind of evidence. They're kind of, through some kind of historical research, one can also find out. So we have established what is called as in India, ARRR, Association of Regression, Reincarnation Research. More than a decade, we have been doing this kind of beautiful work through ARRR and Quantum Life University. And through ARRR, all the therapists, PLR facilitators, whoever are trained in this particular science of past life regression therapy across the globe, they are members of this group organization, ARRR. So they actively document the case studies. So Dr. Saurabh Ranjan was asking about this question. The trainings after that, it's a 1-year program. Though they go through the 6-day intense residential retreat, afterwards an online support will be given to them and they will be in touch with us. They conduct at least document 10 case studies where they are able to help certain people with health conditions, fears and phobias, sudden inappropriate, illogical emotions which were disproportionate, violent emotions coming out. All of us are very reactive emotions. Such people also, and relationship troubles with patterns with relationships. So they document these case studies, and also many of these therapists, PLR therapists, they also come across beautiful evidences for the past life. Like one is xenoglossia, and second evidence is verifiable details, like what we can verify later on if they're telling about a specific location, time period, and the time of death and nature of death, how they died, and the name of the person, family name, surname, all those details. Later on, we could cross-check. There are many therapists who could completely tap into such verifiable details and research and confirm it. So we publish a journal called ELT, Eternal Lifetimes. We used to always, at least every journal contains one of the past life memory which was like validated, like a evidence where we found. So in ARRR also, it conducts annual conventions. We have meetings and annual conventions. So we have conducted so far 6 kinds of these conferences, past life regression conferences, where we invite all the global experts like Hans Stendham and Andy Tomlinson. There were Janet Cunningham from United States. And we have almost invited so far around 15 experts. They used to come and participate and share their research work. And also from India, from Bangladesh, there are around 2,500 trained facilitators. They're also actively doing research, at the same time clinically, therapeutically helping people to release the baggage that they carried from past lives. So this is what the beautiful research that's happening from Quantum Life University and also the ARRR. So regarding other pioneers who are doing this kind of active research, there are few names that I want to mention. The first one that I want to mention is Dr. Ian Stevenson. Ian Stevenson. So he was a professor of psychiatry, head of the department. He was working in the University of Virginia, and in his clinics, he used to get the cases of children. Many children were brought to him by the parents, telling that my child is telling a story and maybe he's hallucinating about a past life. He says the little children, around 5 years to 10 years age, certain cases, most of the cases, 5 to 10 years age group children, they start telling about their past lives and they talk to the parents. They say that I want to meet my mother and father who was in that particular village. Please take me there. And sometimes these children also used to demonstrate xenoglossia. They used to speak a different language. So Ian Stevenson, along with his entire research team, they have documented more than 5,000 cases. Amongst them, 100 cases at least were actually published as books. The cases from India, there were actually 10 cases suggestive of reincarnation from India, 10 cases suggestive of reincarnation, 20 cases suggestive of reincarnation from Sri Lanka. He has published all the research details. One stunning case is from India, Shanti Devi case. When Shanti Devi was a little girl, and she used to tell about her husband and 4 children. She used to constantly talk about that, and she used to narrate that particular state, Uttar Pradesh, and a name of the place also she used to mention, the village name. She used to speak in a different accent of Hindi. So she used to tell, I have to meet my husband. She was just little girl, just maybe 4 or 5 years old girl, speaking about husband and 4 children. And parents thought some possession happened. And in India, we have all these beliefs, right? Superstitions, like children speaking, something like that. Some ghost has entered into the child. So they were going into all kinds of religious things. And later on, it came in the newspapers. This information reached Ian Stevenson team. So the entire team came to India. They have researched. They have taken the girl, whoever talking about that particular address, village, and husband and the 4 children, they took her to that village, and she strayed away in that village as if she knew the pathways and roads and routes, and she took them to the one house. She said, this is my house, this is where I belong. And they called the people who are inside the home, and the old people came out. She identified all the old people. She said, this is my first son, this is my second son, third son, and four sons. And also the husband was, I think by the name Kedarnath, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But she given around 50 clues about her reincarnation, 50 clues about this particular past life. She also, the most beautiful part of this past life memory is, she said, I buried certain gold coins or not, some coins in that home. That's a kind of hut before, later on it was reconstructed. So they have unearthed, they brought out those coins, that they found exactly the place she's shown. It was stunning. For first time from India, it created a kind of wave in all the scientific circles, that okay, oh, there must be reincarnation, must be true. How could a child identify this unknown place, take the old research team there, and give so many details which were matching and validating? So it was also published in that particular book by Dr. Ian Stevenson. There are many other such pioneers like Carol Bauman, who researched a lot about children's memories of the children who recalled their past lives. Particularly, her focus was therapeutic and clinical. Dr. Carol Bauman. So that so many books she authored. I think 2 books or 3 books. And later on, some German, doctors also, they have done a lot of research. Dr. Roy Stimman from London. So I met most of these pioneers in my journeys into other countries, because I used to conduct past life regression, these workshops, trainings in Europe and United States and different countries. So during that time, part of my interest is connecting to all the like-minded people. I used to meet all these experts. I met Dr. Brian Weiss. I had a beautiful conversation with him, and Roger Woolger and Chet Snow, and they're great pioneers in this world who have dedicated their lives for studying about the science of reincarnation, science of PLR, because reincarnation, whether we believe it or not, it is so true. Dr. Bruce Goldberg, he was a doctor, he used to say that if you don't believe in reincarnation, does not matter. Next time you will believe in any way. Because reincarnation is so true, so true. Yes, Dr. Saurabh, you want to say something?
बहुत बढ़िया सर। हमारे पास थोड़े हिंदी ऑडियंस भी हैं, तो हम थोड़े से सवाल, थोड़ी सी बातें, थोड़ा कर्मों का सिद्धांत और पास्ट लाइफ, ये दोनों आपस में कैसे जुड़ा हुआ है? हाउ दे आर कनेक्टेड, कर्मा एंड रीइंकार्नेशन?
Okay, because karma is a scientific principle. Karya Karan Sambandh is law of karma, the sutra of karma. So every cause has an effect, every effect has got a cause. Definitely it is ancient science. Bharat Desh always spoken about it. Our ancient scriptures, any scripture we open, we always find the references to law of karma. Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agami karma. We talk about these different types of karmas here in punya karma, papa karma. Definitely we talk about it. And how it is connected with reincarnation. Very, very beautiful question. Because of law of karma only, we come into these repetitive cycles of birth and death. The karma, whatever that we generate, punya karma or papa karma, means good karma or negative karma, positive karma or negative karma. Whether it is debits or credits, both, they result into these cycles of birth and death. For example, in a past life, a person has violated certain things, have done certain blunders. They have done a grave mistake. What happens is, after the soul vacates the body, that particular lifetime where he was, very, very cruel and arrogant and very egoistic and harmed a lot of people. Maybe in a war situation, a king killed so many people just to prove that he is a great king. He was a cause for deaths of millions of people, for example. And whatever the karmic energy in that lifetime, in the last moments, the soul of him, when it is leaving the body, all that energetic imprints will be stored in his subtle body. In his subtle bodies like Vijnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, he will capture the entire, essence of that life. Imprints, we call them as imprints. In India, we call the Sanskrit name for it is vasanas, tendencies. They're called as vasanas. Samskaras and vasanas, we call that as. So when the soul is coming back again, this time we are bringing back all that, whatever the karmic baggage that we carried. So when the soul is absorbing all that imprints of the past life and visiting the higher planes, it visits the higher planes. At this point of time, maybe it will be very clear. I prepared 2 slides for all of you. I will share it. Can Dr. Saurabh, can you enable the screen sharing? I will share one slide so that everyone can understand. I think it need to be enabled.
Dr. Sandeep, can you enable?
I got it now. Yeah. Thank you. So here we can see, you can see this slide, particular slide, where so after leaving the body, the physical body, the soul, the Jivatma, is entering into the astral realms. Then we also, some of the advanced souls, they go to the Karana Lokas. There are different Sanskrit names that we have, like a Sukshma Loka, Karana Loka, Mahakarana Loka. So there are some other names that are used in the English literature, like spiritual literature of English. So we come back again, we come back to again our physical body. We repeat this cycle of birth and death. We can see that when we are dying, the soul is leaving this physical body. The etheric body is dissolving into the whatever the jiva that is there around, the prana shakti, it mingles into that. The astral body and causal body and supracausal body, and we reach to those sukshma lokas. So this is the slide which really conveys this message to us. So there are many lokas. These are the celestial planes, there are higher planes, but we don't have access because earth is a school. Some of us, when we are really done a lot of sadhana, spiritual practice, we are in a vibrating at a higher frequencies. After death states, we'll be able to reach to higher planes beyond the upper astral planes. In this slide, you can see that there are lower astral planes, we call them as Narakalokas, and middle astral planes, upper astral planes, they're called as Swargalokas, means heavenly realms. Mental and causal planes, they're called Karanaloka, and supracausal planes, Mahakarana-lokas. So advanced souls, they can reach to the higher planes. So at this time, there are three things that happen. First thing is a resting stage. A soul after death state, when they reach to these astral realms, they take rest. Some they rest for even hundreds of years, thousands also. I read somewhere in the autobiography that he narrated, Osho Rajneesh. He mentioned about his Tibetan lifetime, where he recalled his Tibetan past life. He waited for 800 years for the womb, right time, right womb. He waited for 800 years. He was a Tibetan Lama. So in the resting stage, we stay for such duration because after intense lifetime, we would like to rest for some time. Our spiritual guides will be there. They will also make us go through recuperation process. They want us to rest and recuperate ourselves because hard work that we have done is just like how in the school, we study so much hard work we do, we write our exams, we have a vacation, right? Before we are graduate to the next class. So during the vacation, we don't do anything. We just rest, a lot of resting time. And review stage, our spiritual guides will help us to review that lifetime. Whether you have lived that lifetime, you have completed your soul's agenda, soul plan or not, they will ask you. In the review, along with your spiritual guides, you look at that past life, pros and cons, positives and negatives. And also you will pick up lessons that you learned, because from all experiences we learn. Positive experiences also contribute for your growth, even negative experiences. For example, some who have done a lot of blunders, guides, they will not judge you. There in the soul planes, they will embrace you. They say to you, you will be given another opportunity. This time, you have to be very careful. You have to be very aware not to commit the same error and blunder again. And they will also show the different possibilities where you can incarnate and learn particular lessons. the soul lesson that you have missed out in a past life, the spiritual guides will help you to select certain things. So that's the third stage. It's called planning stage. You can look in the slide in the corner, the right hand corner, the planning stage, where the souls, they plan for the next incarnation cycle. So the law of karma, we take into account in the planning stage, like according to your karmic background, many lifetimes accumulated karma will be there. You say that this is now I am ready. This is that whatever the karmic units that are you want to work on them, and that's is called prarabdha karma. It's called ripened karma. For example, a person have to learn about chopping the ego, because he was so egoistic. Out of ego, he was completely distracting himself on the earth plane. He was never really fulfilling his life purpose.
सर
So it's yeah, yes, Dr. Saurabh.
बहुत सारे सवाल आए हुए हैं जूम पे, और हम फेसबुक पे भी लाइव हैं.
Yeah.
तो इतने सारे सवाल हैं तो सभी सवालों को तो नहीं ले पाएंगे, लेकिन एक महत्वपूर्ण सवाल है जो जिसका मैंने प्रैक्टिकल देखा सोल कोच सेशन के दौरान. हाउ टू गेट रिड फ्रॉम द फियर ऑफ डेथ.
Right. How to overcome the fear of death, right?
Yeah.
That's the question. Yes, Dr. Saurabh. And fear of death is nothing but fear of unknown. You know, we fear certain things because things are unknown to us. For example, we do not know the darkness. We may think that in the darkness there may be a danger existing. It may be a threat to us. So that's why we fear darkness. Fear of darkness also is a fear of unknown. Even the death, we don't know about really the death. That's why we are scared about the death. But if we know that there is a reincarnation, that there is life after death, there is a life after death, then there is no fear. That's why we say that meditation is an important spiritual practice which cultivates awareness, which cultivates your witnessing consciousness, where you will be witnessing your own self. Through that practice of meditation, you get bound to get certain experiences and deep insights, deep realizations that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not my emotions, I am not my ego, I am the soul. So we really renounce the fear of death. The fear of death really can, when it goes away, we can really participate in life, dance in life, sing in life, celebrate our life, and live more joyfully. That's why we say that in spirituality, art of living is as important as art of dying. When we say that art of dying, it does not mean I'm not encouraging people to die soon. Art of dying is when you live your life completely, you complete your life. And we have to live such a full life, means minimum lifespan of us is 100 years. If we meditate, an extra 50 years also can be added to us. 150 years guaranteed if we are a practitioner. So definitely, when a death point is approaching to us, we can die gracefully. We don't need to die gripped with the fear. And we don't need to die unconsciously with unawareness, but die consciously. Like a Bhishma Pitamaha who had gone through Ichha Maran. He said, on this particular day, I leave the body, I vacate the body. This is the state that every meditator can achieve. And suicides and all these things are not the solutions. People, they want to end life because it's too much problematic. Maybe they have some health problems, certain financial difficulties, difficult relationships, and all that. It's a violation. It's a law of karma says it's a kind of blunder. It's a kind
Again, you have to come to the earth to learn that lesson again.
Perfect. Yes, we have to come back because problems are not ending with the death. If the problems are ending with the death, then we can all die and take new birth. It's not ending. We come back again with a new problem. Those problems only will continue. We have to come back and learn the lessons, face the challenges. That's why it's so important, courageously, come what may, face the challenges. Every problem has a solution. Only thing is we have to search for the solution in the right place. Generally, the only place we don't search is within our own selves. Spiritual solutions are the best because all the problems that we experience in life, they have a cause. The cause is inside our mind. If we can look deeper into our own selves, we find the cause. The beliefs, the fears, the emotional energies that we are carrying from past lives, and which we are attracting through a law of attraction, certain problem situations into our life, patterns into life, we can find a beautiful solutions.
Super, Dr. Newton. We are so fortunate. I have read so many books. I haven't trained, but today listening from you, it's like horse's mouth. Like I am reading 1,000 books in a small time, and so many viewers have asked so many questions. Every question can't be answered. But you have talked about the spiritual guides, new soul, old soul. Please tell us about the spiritual guide. How they guide us.
Okay.
Who are they?
Spiritual guides are non-physical guides. We might have here the living teachers where physical guides we meet. We need guides, definitely. For example, if I have to learn mathematics, I need to go to a mathematics teacher. For example, if I have to learn certain things, I have to go to meditation, I have to go to a dhyana guru who teaches me meditation. So in the same way, there are spiritual guides who are in a non-physical body. The best way that we can evolve and progress and develop spiritually is in meditation. We can meet our spiritual guides. There are two spiritual guides who are appointed, who are there for everyone. One senior guide and second one junior guide. These two guides will be overlooking us and watching over us, and they always guide us. Only thing is we are not conscious of their presence. But meditation with awareness practice will we become these hunches become very strong. Intuitions will come to us. Our presence of the guides are palpable. And many people in the regression sessions, life after death states, when they reach to those higher realms, they meet spiritual guides. It's a beautiful interaction happens, conversations happen, they pass on such wisdom, purest wisdom, and they demonstrate what is called as pure love or unconditional love, which we don't find in the earth plane. Purest form of love. You are already forgiven for everything. We generally feel so guilty for certain things, but they say regretting about your past is again a blunder. Don't regret about your past. Look forward. You need to now learn this particular lesson. They encourage you. The spiritual guides, they assist in our spiritual evolution, because dharmartha kama moksha is our purusharthas on the earth planet. Everyone, we have these four important things. But moksha, dharmartha kama moksha. Moksha is the ultimate. Moksha is nothing but enlightenment. Knowing about your self in totality, where you are knowing that you are not only Jivatma, you are the part of this entire Sarvatma. You are this unseparated, non-separate soul from this Sarvatma. So this moksha is easier, means we really achieve total freedom by connecting to our spiritual guides. They hold our hands initially. They are at every step, they guide us to evolve. I found my spiritual guides. Initially, it was so unbelievable. I never thought that I would meet Lord Shri Krishna as my spiritual guide. It was so shocking. He was not in the same form that I have seen in my meditation. He was in a different form. Later on, the conversation that he delivered, the beautiful teachings, beautiful guidance. I still always in contact with my guides always, and it was one of the best things that can happen to every spiritual practitioner, because you got the visa and passport to your enlightenment once you find your spiritual guide. So there are different levels. There are once the spiritual guides, they change also. Sometimes you will be sent to a different spiritual guide for learning more lessons. For example, if I have to learn music, I have to go to music teacher. If I have to go to learn about astral travel, I'll be guided to Lobsang Rampa, Tuesday Lobsang Rampa, who is a Tibetan master, who is such an expert, who is also now acting like a non-physical spiritual guide from the other planes. He's helping so many people. So like that, there are so many spiritual guides who are there to assist us in our evolution. Thank you, Dr. Sandeep.
न्यूटन सर, एक क्वेश्चन मेरे जहन में आ रहा है जो कि काफी इम्पोर्टेंट है. How we can use dream for exploring past life or for spiritual evolution? Significance of dream.
Okay. Dreams are the messages from your own inner soul. Whatever that we have ignored to learn certain lessons, or whatever we have suppressed, that material, that content will stay in the subconscious mind. When we are sleeping in the swapnavastha, we are entering into a kind of altered state of consciousness. That time, all the subconscious material initially will come up. These dreams are like messages. Whatever emotions which we always carried from childhood, the fears, anger, so many other things, all that in a symbolic way, the dreams will appear. So that's why I call dreams as healers. Dream heals people because it is a kind of venting out, release that happened in a dreamy state. And second is, dreams make us progress spiritually. Those people who are ready, you're a practitioner of meditation, many of them, they receive spiritual dreams. One of the spiritual dream is called Reincarnation Dream. You visit your past life memories in your dream. So in the morning when you wake up, you are waking up with that past life story of you. It's very alive in your mind, very fresh in your mind. And some of the cases where I heard these beautiful experiences, they had the validations. They could completely do the research and validate such dream PLRs. In the dream, they access the past life memory. So when we get these past life dreams, we understand there are past life dreams because we recognize ourselves in a different time period, different place. We appear differently than these forms. So certain kinds of indications you'll get, a kind of deja vu feeling you get, a sense of familiarity with that place. For example, recently I received an email about one woman. She explored a past life in a dream. She narrated about being in China as a kind of warrior and a monk also. She turned into a monk. She visited a place, there is a fountain, a Buddha statue, and she never visited China before. She never know about China much. But later on, she found all these details and she could cross-check its existing. And the best part is the learning process, you know. So that's why many, they try PLRs. First, they attempt past life regression sessions. Some 20% of the individuals, they are unable to tap into past life information for various reasons, you know. 80% they are able to open the doors of the past lives, but 20% unsuccessful. But they access past life memories through the dreaming process, through dreams. That's another interesting thing. Yes,
Sir,
Dr. Saurabh.
Sir, Dr. Newton, there are so many questions, but so many viewers are asking one question again and again. That when you told that there are conferences happening, you are organizing conferences in India also, and you are publishing ELT also, and you are training also so many persons. So how they can approach you, how they can be trained, and
Okay. Maybe I put this information slide so that it will be easy. Let me. Here, the website qluglobal.org. That's the website, the main website. You can access every information about the work, the trainings, the conferences. So the next year, 2021, we'll have in Delhi, the PLRC 7 Past Life Regression Conference in Delhi. It's going to happen. It's an international conference. We're going to have several experts, global experts coming, and also from India, so many masters, facilitators from more than 15 years of practice in past life regression. They're also going to present their research work, their findings. It's the most beautiful scientific kind of past life regression conference. ARRRglobal.org. You have many archives, downloads that are is possible through that website. So qluglobal.org also, you have a lot of content, lot of information about the work that we do. One thing is Soul Coach program. That's the highly recommended program for everyone. It's a free program, and where 20 days, 2 semesters it happens in every year. 2 languages we conduct, English and Telugu. In the future, maybe definitely in Hindi also, it's definitely going to happen. And this is the most beautiful program because we have practical sessions, we also meditate, we learn so much of wisdom. Dr. Saurabh was there with us, and he can also share something later on about Soul Coach program. We have conducted so far 15 batches, and this university campus that we're building is open to the whole world. We are making it completely a free university, free spiritual university, where anyone who is has this enthusiasm, want to learn about the spiritual sciences, they always welcomed, encouraged to attend. So this is what we are doing, friends, and you can always access this information through our website.
superb, Dr. Newton. There are only few persons who are doing so selfless work, and we, as a spiritual doctor for holistic health, salute you for doing such an amazing work. And I know personally many of your students who have done the Soul Coach. They have personal experience that those 20 days had transformed their life completely. And uh, there are so many questions. Dr. Saurabh, if last question we can take, after that we can go into meditation, because by Dr. Newton Kondaveti, we don't want to miss that meditation by him. So Dr. Saurabh.
मेरे पास एक सवाल है सर, आपकी अगली किताब कब आ रही है? आपकी तीनों किताब मैंने पढ़ी हुई है. आइए.
Sure, Dr. Saurabh, and few more books are in line because we plan to bring out total 18 series. So now 3 books are published, and 4 more books are waiting. They are in the process. One is the Science and Art of Astral Travel. That's one book, and the second one is the Kundalini Energy. You are a lotus flower, 1,000-petal lotus flower. That's the title. You are a 1,000-petal lotus flower. So that's about the Kundalini Shakti. In India, we have this profound wisdom about that. And the third book is about the reparenting the inner child, the skill and art and science of it. This is the third title that we are planning to bring it out soon. And the fourth title is about sacred relationships. Sacred relationships. And we have 18 schools of wisdom in Quantum Life University. So Each department will have one book that we are now authoring. So it's in the process. Maybe it will take another 3 years time to bring out all these 18 books. But in the pipeline, the 4 more books are there. Thank you, Dr.
Wow,
Saurabh.
wow, wow. Thank you, sir. Sir, we have request कि आज आप हमें meditation कराएं in your style.
Definitely, definitely. We'll do. It will be wonderful to have this group meditation, friends. And let us all now sit down in a comfortable posture. So you can join your 2 hands together. We are making a circuit in the body, interlocking your fingers and keeping it in your lap. And then you can close your eyes. If you're wearing spectacles, you can remove your spectacles. Then observe your normal, natural breathing. This practice is called as Anapanasati, which was given by Lord Buddha, later on popularized by Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji worldwide. At this moment, I would like you to observe your in-breath and out-breath. Anapanasati meditation. This is called Anapanasati. Observing normal, natural breathing. If the breath is long and deep, let it be long and deep. If the breath is short and shallow, let it be. No need to alter, change the breathing rhythm. Whatever it is right now, pay attention to your breath. Let your mind be focused now on your breathing. Mind wanders here and there into the past, into the future. And let us now be mindful of your breathing. Give all your undivided attention, all your attention to your breathing. Your in-breath and your out-breath. Staying in this present moment, being here and now, being a watcher of your breath. As you hear certain musical sounds, it helps you to go into a deeper meditation. Meditation is Chitta Vritti Nirodha state. The mind becoming utterly silent and calm. No need to visualize, picturize anything. No need to chant any mantra. Just follow your normal natural breathing. Our shwas, our breath is called Maha Mantra. Our breath is called Soham. Just give all your attention to your normal breath, natural breath, tender breath, simple breath. Just be still. Embrace that silence within. A deep silence. Reach to the deeper stillness, deeper silence within, where there is no time. Time dissolves, space-time dissolves. You are not the body, you are much more than the body. Body is your sacred temple. You are not your mind and thoughts in your mind. Disidentify all that distracting thoughts. You are not thoughts. You're not the mind. You're much more than that. You are not your emotions and feelings and sentiments. You're much more than that. You can witness, you can watch them. You're not it. You are not the personality or the ego. You are that consciousness, soul, who is a watcher in you, who is watching everything, who is an observer in you, who is observing everything, who is a witnesser in you, who is witnessing everything. Be that. Be your real self, the watcher. Become aware of the awareness. The last 3 minutes, my dear friends. Just be. Meditation is awareness of your own self. Meditation is witness state of consciousness. Last 1 minute, my dear friends. Just be. Meditation is an inner journey from outside to the inside, from the gross to the subtle, from periphery to the center. From distractions to the focused state of being. Just be. Okay, my dear friends, whenever you are ready, you may rub your palms and place them on your eyes for a few seconds, touching your eyelids with your fingertips. Let the energy from the fingertips be distributed to your eyes and coming back to the waking state of consciousness. Take your own time. It's wonderful, friends. So this meditation practice is very simple practice as advised by Buddha. It can be done by anyone because it is not really connected to any particular religion. It is a very universal meditation. Any person, any gender, any age group, this meditation can be practiced. Whatever our age, that many minutes need to be given to our own self every day. On a daily basis, for example, you are 5-year-old, 5 minutes, 50-year-old, 50 minutes, 60-year-old, 60 minutes. So this simple practice can give us so many benefits. I reap so many benefits. And I thank Dr. Saurabh Ranjan and Dr.
Sandeep.
Dr. Sandeep.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We are really fortunate that today we got the opportunity to listen the stalwart, and it was our pleasure. And please accept our gratitude on behalf of a spiritual doctor for holistic health. And every week, sir, we're calling a doctor who is a spiritual doctor and working with the holistic health. And thank you for this session, sir. And friends, don't forget to like our YouTube channel and Facebook page also. With this, we end this session. Thank you very much. We will meet next week with all of you. Again, Dr. Newton, we thank you from core of our heart. Dr. Ranjan, over to you.
Thank you, Newton sir, for coming. मैं ऑडियंस को मैं थोड़ा सा कहना चाहता हूँ, बहुत सारे लोगों ने सवाल किया और फिर वो बाद में लिख रहे हैं व्हाई यू आर नॉट आस्किंग माय क्वेश्चन, इज इट नॉट रिलेवेंट. So my dear friends, there are many questions here, so in the limited time we can't deal with all questions. न्यूटन सर की वेबसाइट QLU ग्लोबल आ गई है, इस पे बहुत सारे वीडियोस हैं और आप क्वांटम लाइफ यूनिवर्सिटी विजिट भी कर सकते हैं सोल कोच ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम के लिए. देयर आर मेनी वेज टू कनेक्ट हिम लेटर. तो सॉरी, लिमिटेड टाइम में हमारा ये प्री डिफाइंड टाइम है हर संडे को 11 बजे से 12:30 बजे तक. थोड़ा सा हम 5-7 मिनट ज़्यादा ही हो गए हैं, तो थोड़ा बहुत ओके है, लेकिन ज़्यादा समय नहीं कर सकते. इसलिए जिन लोगों का सवाल नहीं हम जवाब दे पाए तो इसको अन्यथा ना लें. डॉक्टर न्यूटन से उनकी वेबसाइट पे उनसे संपर्क करके और उनके वीडियो के माध्यम से आप जुड़े रहें. Thank you, Newton sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
It's wonderful, Dr. Saurabh, Dr. Sandeep, and this beautiful work that you're doing. I really appreciate bringing all the doctors onto this platform and sharing this wisdom to. This is really the need of the hour. The COVID-19 situation, the pandemic, it really is so beautiful work that you're doing. Thank you. Thank you, dear friends, for joining. And
thank you, friend. Thank you for joining. Dr. Newton, there is one more request that they're not satisfied with one session. They want you again after some time. So please grace this platform again, sir.
Definitely, it is possible. And we will definitely have one more session after some time later.
Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you, friends.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. ये वीडियो